Corporation here in town. Our Government Affairs Committee was talking about with the candidates. We have some that maybe are not everyday household names to run, and we thought maybe this would be a nice way of getting to know people before you get into the booth and just pick any name at random. We talked to Don Curry and Dave Harold with the original Town Association. They were thinking about doing something as well. I said, well, let's just do one thing and we'll do it together. So thanks to the original Town Association and our Government Affairs Program for the North Platte Area Chamber and Development Corporation. And I thank you all for caring about government and showing up. I didn't know whether we should have 20 chairs. Now we're probably pushing 45 or 50, and we're pretty much full. And I wasn't sure all the candidates would show up, and everyone showed up. That's a plus. Kent Winder will be our moderator tonight. With this many people, we're limiting the answers to the questions to a minute, but even then, 11 minutes, you get 3 or 4 questions in an hour is about all you can get. So there'll be questions that you're worried about or concerned about that may or may not be on our list, but we tried to do the best we could because there's lots of things that people are concerned about. We tried to pick things that were kind of the top of the news, kind of the top of the coffee talk around town. And you can tell us afterwards, why didn't you ask them this question? Well, you grab them by the arm before they leave and ask them yourself. I'll turn it over to Kent and take it away. Thanks.
Thanks, Dan. I want to thank everybody for being here at the forum, and I especially want to thank the North Platte Area Chamber and Development Corporation and the original Town Association as well. Is everybody able to hear me all right in the back? Okay. Well, I'll talk as loud as I can, and we'll go from there. First of all, let's talk about the ground rules for the forum. 2-minute opening statement is what each candidate will get. 90 seconds to answer each question, and there will be no chance for a rebuttal in this type of a forum. A timekeeper will hold up a yellow card when 30 seconds remain for each answer. A red card will be held up when time expires. Candidates are grouped by the political office for which they are running: county commissioners, mayor, and city council. This forum will last, as Dan said, approximately 1 hour, maybe an hour and a half. We'll see how many questions we can get through. Also, this will be recorded for broadcast on the cable channel 8, I believe it is, so maybe you can look for that as well. Now let's introduce the candidates for you, and we'll start with the county commissioners, and this is for District 1. We'll start at my far right, Joe Hughley and Bob Peterson, and then we'll move to the mayoral candidates, Mark Kashke, Dwight Livingston, and Jerry Stoll. City Council Ward 1, Brooke Baker, Joshua Catlett, and Joshua Weldon. And for Ward 2, David Bertram, Barb Keller, and Glenn Peterson. So those are our candidates. As we get everybody to talk about the opening question, we're going to let everybody have an opening statement. This will be 2 minutes long. But included in the opening statement, we would like the candidates to talk about what their vision for North Platte or Lincoln County would be for them in the 4 years of their term. So we'll begin with the county commissioners. We'll begin with Mr. Hughley.
I'm going to leave these on. I'm not looking down my nose at you. I just need to be able to see what I'm doing. Good evening. My name is Joe Hughley. I want to personally thank the Chamber of Commerce, Old Town Association, CanOP, and the other print and broadcast media for putting this on this evening. I think it's an important function they do. I think it's important to let you people know a little bit more about the candidates and maybe whom you want to have represent you for the next 4 years. I come from a railroad family. My entire family railroaded. I worked summers on the section of maintenance wave gangs, so I had the opportunity of paying my own college education. Very thankful for that. I went to the University of Nebraska where I met my beautiful bride, Penny. We came back and decided to make North Platte our home. I've been a lifelong resident of North Platte, and I should say a proud resident. We have 3 wonderful children, 2 of which came back and decided to also make North Platte their home, raising families here. And with that in mind, it makes me realize that the children really are our future, and I want to do everything that I can to make sure that we continue to see that this is a growing and vibrant community, that they have the same opportunities that we had. I guess over the next 4 years, a couple of things that I would like to see happen is I think that I'd like to continue working to see that Lincoln County remained as one of the lower counties tax-wise in this state. something we work very hard on, but at the same time, maintaining those critical services, mainly law enforcement, viable road system that we all depend on. I'd like to also continue to find other ways to make government more efficient, and that might include the combination of law enforcement countywide between the city and the sheriff's office. I know it'd take a lot of conversations by both departments, but at the end, if it ends up saving some money and making it more efficient on manpower, I think it's something we should consider. I also would like to see the Birdwood project continue to fruition, and my time's up. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mr. Peterson. Same.
Hello, my name is Bob Peterson. I grew up most south of Paxton and in Paxton. After a stint in U.S. Navy, U.S. Marine Corps, I served in Vietnam, 1968-69. After I was honorably discharged, I attended college here in Mid-Plains, was married here in 1972. Unfortunately, that marriage ended. I was blessed to meet the former Denise Priest, who became my wife in 2004. My main goals in 4 years would be to have 5 county commissioners. So rather than one commissioner representing 12,000 citizens and residents, you'd have 7,500. I would also like to see term limits. I think that's a very important. New ideas, fresh ideas always seem to work better. And I would like to see Monday evening county commissioner meetings so that more business people who just cannot get away on Mondays can become involved and state their concerns. That's about it. Thank you for your time.
Will start us off.
Well, you know, growing a community is a lot like building a house. You got to start with a strong foundation. And I think we've got a strong foundation here in our community. I mean, our community spirit's been thriving since the days of the North Platte Canteen. We continue to attract businesses and families to our area. I think we have a lot of great things happening right now. And over the next 4 years, I want to continue to build upon what's been accomplished. And as a father to 5 children, I certainly know the importance of being tight with the dollar. And that's why as mayor, I've worked hard to control spending and reduce city debt levels. Every budget that I've proposed has had lower property tax levies. I've also opposed all new taxes and will veto any attempt to impose a cell phone tax. And in the second term, I want to continue on with some of this financial discipline. I also want to look to help continue to grow our community so that we can continue to create opportunities to engage and attract the next generation here to North Platte. We've had new hotels, new retail, new truck stops, all kinds of things that have chosen to make significant investments here in North Platte. We've got new technology companies that are soon going to make North Platte as wired as any community in the world. It's going to help provide more of the jobs of the future right here in our own hometown. New investments in infrastructure have been made, along with the South Buffalo Extension Project, improvements into downtown and on the north side. And I want to continue here into the next term on working to improve that growth as well. Families also realize that North Platte's a great place to raise their families. And I've tried to work to encourage public-private partnerships that have allowed us to cost-effectively implement curbside recycling, family splash pad, improvements to our parks, and to all of our athletic facilities. North Platte has the potential to become a destination here, and I want to continue to work with our promoters to promote and improve North Platte. I want a community, I guess, that my children are proud to call home. We've done a lot with growth. We've maintained fiscal discipline. We've improved the quality of life. And over the next 4 years, I want to continue to build upon those to create a great future together.
Can I get around for it? My name's Dwight Livingston. I didn't really have to look at this to figure that out. I stand behind my words. Continuing a lifetime of service through honesty and integrity, I began my service to our country in the United States Air Force, completing that service with a tour in Da Nang, Vietnam. I served for our city for nearly 39 years with the North Platte Police Department, where I worked my way through the ranks of police officer to deputy chief, serving as interim chief prior to retirement in the summer of 2011. It would be my privilege to continue serving our city with this same honor and integrity as your mayor. I believe in North Platte, and my interests and dedication are solely to this city.
My wife Rhonda and I, 2 daughters, 2 son-in-laws, 5 of our 7 grandchildren work and live in North Platte. Decisions made on the city government level affect our family just as much as they impact our other residents. If elected, I will work to have our city united by the end of my four-year term. I believe our citizens and city government working together toward one common goal will make North Platte the best that it can be and a place where we can all afford to live. I plan to accomplish this by implementing and operating a more open, transparent, responsible government that is accountable to its constituents. I am confident that, as a city united, we can closely monitor taxes and city spending, encourage economic vitality, support and improve local efforts designed to bring people into the community, protect the quality of our neighborhoods, and encourage and support new and existing local businesses. I am extremely grateful for the opportunity and would like to thank everyone who has supported and encouraged me thus far throughout my campaign. Thank you.
Thank you for allowing this privilege. I appreciate it. I've lived in North Platte for 43 years as a teacher and a businessman, and I've also served as Ward 1 council member for 27 years now. So I think that makes me very well qualified because with that experience, if I'm fortunate enough to be elected your mayor, why I think I can hit the ground running. The question that we were asked to answer is what we'd like to have accomplished at the end of our first term. I've got 5 goals that I would like to accomplish. First goal would be I would like to shrink the size of city government by 20% in 4 years. And that's a pretty ambitious goal, but I think it's doable. Taxes, property taxes are always a hot topic, and it's always bothered me that we are constantly criticized because our mill levy ranks us among the upper portions of the cities that we're always compared to. One of my goals would be at the end of my 4 years to not have that ranking be in the upper portion, but have it be in the lower half. Economic development, I think, is extremely important to our community, and I hope that in the next 4 years I would be able to do my part in attracting a major economic development project in this city. We've had some near misses, and I think we're due, and I firmly believe that it's going to happen sometime here in the next 4 years. Downtown revitalization. Several months ago I presented my vision in front of the City Council, and it's starting to happen. There are some things that are happening, and at the end of the 4 years I'd like to see downtown be a vibrant place and a place where everybody wants to go, whether it be for business or pleasure. And the hottest topic right now, and nobody's wanted to mention it yet, but Iron Eagle. I would have hoped that 4 years from now that Iron Eagle will be debt-free and be self-supporting, and golf will be doing very well in our whole area, and that goes for everybody.
Well, time's up there for that. Thank you very much. Ward 1, we'll start with Mr. Baker.
Like Mr. Winter said, I'm Kent, or that's Kent. Sorry, nervous again. I'm Brooke Baker. Can everybody hear me in the back? Yeah. Okay, I'm a longtime, resident of North Platte. Lived here for quite a few years of my life. Been involved in the community a lot lately, and being a father, I got a little boy. He's 4 years old. It's my world, and I don't want to leave North Platte to be, in debt to him. So when he's my age, he's all of our ages. North Platte's not got a huge debt. I mean, I'd love to see what we have for debt now get wiped in half at least. Stop getting loans, stop building more projects, and let's get some of the stuff we already have paid off. Before we go add more money to it, more debt. I'd like to see North Platte continue on the path they're going as far as growth. I'd love to see more businesses come in, and I'd love to see more job opportunities come in North Platte. Those kind of go hand in hand. You get more businesses, you're going to get more people working. When you're building businesses, you're going to get construction guys, get jobs, all the way through the whole list. So that's pretty much it's a fun. Sorry, I'm trying to run through everything. I didn't write it all down. The only guy that didn't. Lifetime resident, or longtime resident. The only time I really wasn't here, I was in the Army in Iraq. I did 8 years in the Army, did 30 months over there. everybody looks at me like, oh, you're kind of young to run for any kind of city government. Hey, I was in charge of 40 guys over there in Iraq. I kind of know how to keep things in order, and we all came home safe. So, I mean, I got my leadership from there, and right now I currently work at the Union Pacific Railroad as a machinist, so I'm more of a working guy. You know, since I was 15, I've had a full-time job, so I represent, you know, the working, blue-collar guy, you know, no nonsense, just get the job done, so that's about it.
Hello, I am Josh Catlett. I've been in North Platte since '88, and my family actually moved here to start a business, or to expand on our current business. We are part of the Runzas, and back in '88 we opened to be in Jefferson one, and then when I went through, after high school I went to Mid-Plains, got a degree there in business administration, went on to Colorado Springs. I was part of an internship there, where I was actually part of a church that was 8,000 people, and learned how to manage and operate a business, a church that size. While I was there, I also traveled around the world 3 times, do different mission trips in different countries. I think I've been to about 13 different countries now, and just learned a lot of experience. And moved back after Colorado, came back, and we expanded our family business again. We opened up the store over there on Leota and Dewey. It's been over 10 years now, which is hard to believe, but very grateful for the opportunity that North Platte has given our family, and also for me and my family. I now have 4 kids, and I'm married. My wife's actually back there, which is awesome. We have 4 kids under 6. Actually, this next weekend we have 2 birthdays. Well, actually 3 birthdays in our family, so it's going to be a lot of barbecuing out tonight, this weekend. But you know, and I think the way a lot of us think. I mean, we're family people. We have kids. We want to see more things. We want this community to continue to be safe, continue to just grow in more things. One of the things I started showing up at the council meetings was a splash pad. Very grateful for that, and I think there are more things that our community could do. But you know, business, as a business person, I'm always looking for more businesses to come in. I understand that the businesses create jobs, create more tax money, and create more opportunities for a city, and also for the community of North Platte and people living here. So thank you for your time.
I'm Joshua Weldon. I grew up in North Platte, and you know, as most young people, they just say, hey, I'm going to move away from this little town. So I was out, you know, San Diego quite a while, and I was talking to my wife, my fiance at the time, and I was like, hey, you know, I grew up in a nice little town, and we can move back there and have a decent life. So that's what we did. And I decided to get involved in, you know, the community. Why not? I'm going to live here, get involved. I'm not coming into this with anything on an agenda, you know, trying to do, you know, all I want to do is make fair, impartial decisions, you know, you know, do a lot of research, do your homework. I think it's a lot like gardening. You know, you start out, you got to get a plan together. You think about what you want to do. Then you do your research. You got to make sure these things will grow. Then you got your hard work. Do your hard work, get your hands dirty. You got to do a little love, you got to go out there and water. You got to make sure you attend to it, take care of it. And patience, you got to wait. So at the end of it all, you have your fruit or your flowers or whatever, so to say. Basically, what I really want to do at the end of my agenda, so to say, at the end of my 4 years, I would like to see an orchard. That way, we will all have the fruits of our labor.
And we will move to Ward 2 and start off with Mr. Bertrand.
Sorry about that. My name's David Bertram. I've lived in North Platte since 1984. I'm married for 45 years in July. We got 2 kids, an older daughter, she and her family live in Sutherland. We have 5 great-grandkids that live here in town. Worked for the state of Nebraska for 35 years as a deputy and chief deputy fire marshal. and I've been with the North Platte Volunteer Fire Department for about 28 years, which I've enjoyed. And I just thought that I could bring some of my experience working with other people. And I'd like to see towards the end of my 4 years, when and if I get elected, that the budget and the expenditures for the city of North Platte are down, and that we're not out spending a whole lot of extra money that we don't need to spend. And if we have to do some cutting somewhere, we need to do the cutting. That's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Burke.
My name is Barbara Keller. I have worked for the city of North Platte for 33 plus years. 22 of those years I have worked in the city administrator and mayor's office. I would like to tell you that I would be able to lower taxes, but after working in the city administrator's office, I know that I wouldn't be able to do that by myself. One city council person cannot do that with one vote. So if I were to get elected to the city council after 4 years, I would like to be able to say that we all came together and worked with the mayor and city administration and found ways to make their jobs more efficient and the jobs of their people, and found ways to make their jobs more efficient and found ways to save money, which in turn saves tax dollars. And then I believe that working as a team would make a world of difference for all of us. So let's all come together and work as a team. And I think it would make all of us be able to save money. Thank you.
Mr. Peterson.
Hi, I'm Glenn Peterson. My wife and I and our 3 children moved here in 1964. I've been involved in Scouts, Little League Baseball, the church, many other things that I can't think of right now. I did serve a 4-year stint with the village council, the city council, and I really enjoyed that, and I enjoyed working with other people. I would like to go back on and serve another 4-year term at least. And I would like to see a more cohesive council. One would have the time to review the major questions brought before the council. This could be done in a work session as needed, like every couple of months or whatever was needed. That way the entire council would have the time to discuss and understand all sides of the various issues and be able to make a more informed decision. I would also like to see a council that would be more helpful when bringing in new business to North Platte and continue to help the business after it gets started. More business means more employees and as more diversified a tax base. As a council, let's put more emphasis on the positives for the city of North Platte because there are many, and thank you.
Now, as we head into our first questions, there's obviously some issues that affect the city council and the mayor that maybe don't affect the county commissioner. So we're going to kind of separate those.
Are we going to rotate?
We are, yes. We are. So we'll start off with county commissioner question though first. And budgets are tight in the Lincoln County Commissioners, as they are in almost every agency and every aspect. So what would you do, what are your plans in continuing to really battle this tight budget? And are there areas that you see that need to be cut? And we'll start with Mr. Peterson on that.
Well, the biggest thing is that I look back on, in 2004, we had $2 billion in valuation in Lincoln County. In 2011, we had $3.1 billion in valuation. So the budget has increased a great deal from $5.4 million to just under $9 million, not including the bond issue. $3.5 million increase in taxes in an 8-year period of time seems like an awful lot of inflation. As far as specific areas, I can't tell you, I can sit down and light item go over. I have some thoughts. The biggest thing is to review each department, communicate with each head, and you really can cut spending. It's always said it's impossible. You're going to lose services. That's just not true. It can be done. You might have to do a little shuffling around, but it can be done.
Okay.
Hope that answers your question.
And Mr. Hughley, same question.
Sure, I agree with Bob. You can cut services and personnel. We've done both of those. I can tell you that there's less personnel, I think, probably now than when I started 26 years ago. We did go through each office and did that. And we have to keep in mind that those were elected offices, that they control it, but we certainly have a say-so in the purse string. I think that we can do things just like I talked about. I was instrumental in getting 6 interlocal agreements with other counties and with the city of North Platte on sharing services. You don't need duplicated services with 2 people, you can share them. That's the reason I mentioned maybe looking at joint law enforcement. So I think Bob is right. I think that we need to be frugal in our spending, and I think that Lincoln County has done that. Thank you.
Now we're going to throw a different question to the mayor candidates and also for the city council. And what I want to do is I'll ask the question, have the mayor candidates answer it, then we'll go to the city council candidates and have them answer. So our first question is, what would you do with Iron Eagle and other taxpayer subsidized attractions such as the Recreation Center and the Golden Spike? And we'll start with Mr. Livingston on that.
Well, unfortunately, I didn't have anything to do with the Iron Eagle for the past 20 or 25 years or however long it's been an issue. Recently, obviously, it's been in the head of the line, and just the other evening or a week or so, city council and mayor voted to have an outside entity come in and try to repair what they feel has been a problem for quite some years. I don't know if that was the right choice or not, but I've always been one to appreciate what the city council has voted on, but the real issue now is that it has been turned over to the city administrator, who in turn will negotiate a contract with Landscapes. And I think at this point, it would behoove me not to say much more about the golf course until we figure out what that contract is going to bring forward. I believe, if it's a 5-year, then I'm getting a stop sign.
Okay, and Mr. Stoll, same question.
Our rec center is a very valued asset to our city. Our rec center performs better than most other entities of its kind. On an average, rec centers like ours will pay about 1/3 of their way. Ours operates at a 50% rate, and that's actually getting a little bit better every year. So I think we've got a great thing going there with the rec center. Our park system, tax dollars for parks, I think, is never hear any complaints about our parks because we've got a great park system and everybody enjoys it. And Iron Eagle, I'll support whatever the council as a whole decides to do on that, but I think the solution to Iron Eagle is to promote the course, not to tear it down. And what it needs to be able to survive and be self-supporting is promotion.
Okay. And Mr. Caskey, we'll let you handle that one too.
Well, when you look at something like Iron Eagle, it's ultimately been a golf course that has lost money since its inception. So the biggest thing when I was looking at it is it's a scenario where we've got to try something different. I'm very open to solutions there, different ideas on what would work there. We just have proven incapable of doing it. I think it's a great asset for our community, and I think here in a few years when we can get it hopefully to a break-even type standpoint, it's a great situation. When you look at things like Rec Center, it's been a jewel in our community for the last 40 years now. There's some tremendous things going on there, but I think we need to look at all aspects of our city and say, how can we do it better? What can we do in the way of new programming? What can we do in the way of new things that will attract even more people to a facility like that? There's very successful programs and facilities, whether around our state. We don't have to reinvent the wheel on some of this kind of stuff. We can learn from the others and make things work great for our community.
Okay, we'll go to the city council now. We'll start with Mr. Capman on this one.
Love going first. As being a business owner, my family actually currently has 4 different runs around the state, and we've actually have opened more and then sold them off to the managers that we had there. And one thing you do when you have more than one entity is you have to figure out a way to continue to get that bottom line. I mean, as a business owner, you want more on the bottom line. You want to be able to pay out those dividends, and in doing so, as your business increases, you give out more raises because you have more influx coming in. We run off percentages, and so one thing I like to do is I like to figure out how things can run more smooth, more efficient. Have a common sense approach to a lot of things. You know, I don't like to make things too difficult because I'm a simple guy, but I like things to be smooth. I mean, I don't like all the talk with the Iron Eagle. I've golfed there at the rec center as a kid growing up. I think it's essential to have. You know, and I don't know all the numbers or anything like that. And next time.
Okay. Mr. Weldon?
Okay, rec center, like the gentleman said, it's a great thing. I don't know what changes can be made, but Golden Spike, I think it might actually one day be a fine thing. Work with the Old Town Association, Rail Fest, etc. Keep the tourists coming. Iron Eagle, I'm not convinced that spending the money on this new contract, we already know it doesn't get enough golf, so we're spending money that we're going to lose money. Now we're going to be farther in the hole. I'm not convinced this new contract is really our best interest. That's my opinion. Other than that, I think the golf course, it will be, you know, the loan will be paid off soon. So we'll make money soon, but we need to get more grounds of golf.
All right. Mr. Bertram?
Well, the golf course is kind of a bad subject, but I think, you know, the city had somebody come in and talk to them and told them what they needed to, or how to correct it. Nothing was done. So now they've hired the same company to come in and correct it. It doesn't make a lot of sense. You spend another $50,000 or $60,000 to get that done, plus the wages of the people you have to pay, so you're not gaining anything. As far as the rec center, I think it's a great thing for the city. That you see a lot of kids over there using it. The parks are great for the kids. They have a lot of fun, and I just don't like to see. I would not like to see any more things built that are not funded after they're built. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Kelly?
Iron Eagle, we have it. We need to take care of it. We're coming up with an agreement. The city council will ultimately vote on the agreement. The parks are kept up wonderfully. We have one of the best park systems in the state. And Golden Spike, I think that's a great idea. I think it brings lots of tourists here. I think we have a great city, and those 3 things are part of it.
Mr. Peterson?
Thank you. One of the things that has never been brought up in this conversation, I personally went down the county to the courthouse and got the statistics on what that quarter, I'm going to call it a quarter section, I don't know that it is, but the quarter that the golf course is located on. In about 1992, that was bringing in about, I think it was $7,000, and I think that was really more, but anyway, let's say $7,000 in real estate taxes. In 2009, that same piece of property without the golf course was bringing in like $178,000 in taxes. Nobody has paid any attention to that. I happen to think that that's pretty important. There was a big investment made out there in streets, sewer, water, I think to the tune of about $500,000. he has yet to sell a lot. And a lot of that is due to the negativity on the golf course. Okay, thank you.
And Mr. Baker.
Well, as far as the rec center goes, I mean, I like having it here. It's great for our kids and our community and the youth. And I'd like to see more events happen there for the youth to give them something to do. The skate park was a great addition, but like even an ice rink outside in the wintertime, something to do then would be nice. As far as the golf course goes, I mean, everybody kind of hit it on the head. I mean, it's already a done deal. We got an outside firm coming in trying to run it, throwing more money at it for them to come in and do it. And I mean, if it was up to me, if I would have been on the city council, I definitely would have voted that idea down. But now that's done, I think whoever works with the contract with those guys, they need to set a deal with them like, hey, this is what it costs us a month to make our payments, or a year to make our payments on it. You guys go ahead and run it, but once you make that dollar amount, you make our payment, anything over that, it's all yours. So that way they have some sort of incentive, so to speak, to actually get it going, get it bringing in more money. And that's what's
Okay. And this is kind of the last one where we'll separate the commissioners from some of the city offices as well, but we'll do it on this one question as well. So, for the county commissioners, do you see opportunities for increased cooperation between the city of North Platte and Lincoln County? In what ways can this lead to better government? And we'll start with Mr. Hughes.
Well, I don't want to beat a dead horse to death, but I'd mentioned one of them twice. Those are conversations I started having when Mayor Kirkman was the mayor. We've had them 3 different times. We'd also talked over the past about continuing some agreements between city and county ambulance to save some costs, or to go privatization of ambulance services. Absolutely, there's ways to save money in combining services with the city, in my opinion. Just in the last couple of years, we started buying our fuels locally so that we could buy in a larger bulk and save dollars that way. We're sharing the services of our IT people right now. We don't both need IT departments. We work with the city in sharing those. So we're continue to look at that constantly to see if there's other services that we can share. And I think we need to continue to do that. It's very, very important. Thank you.
And Mr. Peters?
I'll stand up this time. It's you're in a real hot seat here in a way. On the interlocal agreements, there's quite a few of them between the city and the county. The only one that I could see, I'd like to see a lot more expansion on, and I think it's been discussed earlier, is between the police department, city police department, and the sheriff's department. With this huge new facility that we've got, we can eliminate a lot of duplication of service, and I'm sure it'll benefit both of them. I'd have to look more deeper into the rest of the interlocal agreements because it's a very convenient figure to be used in the budget. The city can use it in the budget here, the city's budget's different time than the county's, then it flips back to the others. So you're trading a lot of numbers there. I'd like to take a lot closer look and see how much of it is exactly being used interlocal. And on the fuel, it may work to save money. I don't know, but I think if you have 2 different people bidding, you're going to have a lot more competition. Thank you.
All right, and for our city candidates, tell us your thoughts on a cell phone tax. And we'll go with Mr. Stone first.
I'm going to rephrase your question.
Okay.
Am I in favor of reducing property tax by developing other sources of revenue? And my answer to that is yes. A cell phone tax may be a possible revenue stream that could do that. We're constantly compared with other cities on our property tax, and just about all of those cities that have lower property tax rates than us have a cell phone tax. And I would be in favor of implementing a cell phone tax under one condition, and that would be is that every dollar generated from the cell phone tax would be used to take away $1 of property tax, a dollar for dollar exchange there. And the reason I think that's a good deal is because property tax, I'm going to estimate, is paid by about 3,000 property owners in our community. How many cell phone users should we have? So we'd be taking those same amount of dollars instead of a few people paying it. We'd be spreading it out over basically everybody, because almost everybody has a cell phone now. So I just think it'd be a fairer tax than a property tax. Property tax owners have borne that burden too long.
Okay. And Mr. Castro.
You know, I'm not in favor of new taxes. We have enough taxes out there. I'm not in favor of a cell phone tax, and I've very publicly said that I would veto a cell phone tax if it was brought forward.
All right, Mr. Livingston.
I guess I'm going to have to agree with the mayor on this one, because I also agree that we don't need any additional taxes, and we certainly don't need a cell phone tax. Thank you.
All right, now we're going to run to our city council candidates. We'll start with Mr. Wells.
Cell phone tax or communications taxes, but I'm one of the weird ones. I still have a landline. I pay a pretty good tax on that already. My cell phone bill, I look at it, it's got city usage fee or something like that. I just don't see the point. I mean, there's an old Beatles song, you know, tax this, tax that, tax the shirt right off my back, you know. I don't want another tax.
I just don't like a cell phone tax. I don't think we should have one.
No, thank you.
No more questions this way. Okay, Mr. Peterson.
I'm not in favor of a cell phone tax either.
All right, we'll go back to the beginning, and Mr. Baker.
When it comes to cell phone tax, I mean, I'm against it, but based solely on how you're going to regulate it. A lot of people in this town live in North Platte, have Sutherland numbers, Hershey numbers, you know, Wallace numbers. Are you going to base it on their address where they live, or are you going to base it on their phone number that they have? Because we got guys showing up to go to college, living in the dorm, they all got cell phones. Are we going to tax them for our property tax for them to come to college here? That's my thought. I mean, we need to figure out if they want to do it, find a way to regulate it and get standards on it.
Mr. Kaplan.
I have kind of, mine would be more of a question, because I know that the initial home phone line tax, that tax was for the 911 service to get the new system up and running. I talked to Jim Whitaker when he was mayor. That was part of what he did during his term. And his only concern was, and I'm just echoing on basically what he told me, was he wanted to make sure that there's still enough tax money to still supply the 911 service, because obviously that's a very important service to have. And I don't know if we need a cell phone tax. I'm definitely not for a cell phone tax, but I do believe we need to make sure the 911 service, what the home line tax is for, we continue to be able to support that and make sure that's high tech, cutting edge at all the time. Thank you.
And we'll open up this question to all of our candidates. And the question is, how would you like to see new business or industries attracted to Lincoln County and the city of North Platte? And we'll start with Mr. Peterson. I'll stand here.
The biggest thing that I could see for new business, we need to have costs at a level so that we compete with surrounding communities, Kearney, grain taxes, to try and build a field of dreams. The philosophy of a field of dreams, build it and they'll come, it hasn't worked so far, and I don't think that's a successful way. Successful way is, let's start working together, get our costs down so that we're going to be an attractive place to have a business. Because this county can grow, but we have to work together. Thank you.
All right. And Mr. Hubert.
Well, with all due respect, I think that having a good quality of life is certainly important in attracting business to this community. But I also realize it's a very, very competitive market out there. And I do serve on the Development Corporation. You know, we were one of 50 states narrowed down to one of, I don't know how many hundreds of communities that ended up in the final 3 or 4 on a $1 billion project. That's pretty impressive. We didn't get it. But we need to continue to be active in going out, knocking on doors, and marketing North Platte and the good things that we have in this community to attract new business and industry here. And Bob is correct. One of those has to do with the tax structure. but it's only one of many pieces. I think that we need to look at a holistic approach. We can't survive, in my opinion, without seeing our industry grow. I'm not sure of the infighting on the county because I think that we have a pretty cohesive county thing. I'm not sure I understand it. Thank you so much.
You know, I think if you look around North Platte, we're pretty well positioned now for new companies to come in. We've got the infrastructure build out that's taken place. We've got the new technology companies that are providing that infrastructure as well. But I think part of the piece we need to be doing, and we're starting to do more of it, you got to be out there pounding the pavement. You got to be in front of a lot of these companies before they're even thinking to look about things. I also think it's wonderful when we can get the huge 800-pound gorilla to look at North Platte and land and look at us. But I mean, if you look nationwide, there's only 200 to 300, I think, of those kind of projects that happen on an annual basis. I think we need to spend a significant amount of time focusing on our smaller businesses and our businesses that are located right here and encouraging them to grow and continue to expand and hire new employees. Tax component is also a component of it. There's a number of moving parts here, but part of it is creating a community and selling our community. We've got a great place to live, and I think we can sell that to other people.
I believe right now that we have we're heading in the right direction. We have the rec center. We talked about that just a little bit ago. When you want to entice other businesses to come to North Platte, you have to support these other businesses, whether it be the rec center, the parks and recreations, the walking paths. I think today the health conscious folks want to come to this area and know that they have an opportunity to have those places intact at this point. Marketing obviously is going to be a huge issue. We need to talk about North Platte. Let people know that what North Platte's all about. We have great people here. We have good businesses. I think we can attract more businesses by supporting the businesses that we have, the attractions that we have, and go on from there.
Oddly enough, the criteria that industry uses to select sites for expansion, property tax or taxes really aren't at the top of their list. But what is at the top of their list are things like utilities, land sites, incentives to bring them here, and in those respects we compare extremely well. And in the last project that was alluded to here, you know, I can't say this is a fact, but it appears that the only reason that we weren't selected that is that it was simply a personal preference on the part of their management. And I guess what we need to do is find a billion-dollar company that whose CEOs are great hunters and fishermen, and then maybe we'll
For the city council candidates, we'll start with Mr. Bertram.
We need to let the people know what the city of North Platte has, the goods, what good things does the city have. All you hear a lot of time is taxes are too high, they don't want to come. We need to get the taxes down so they will come. They're going to come, they'll hire people, taxes will come back up, and we'll get the tax money that way. We just don't need no increase in taxes. We need to let the people know what we have, the good things we have. And there's a lot of good things in this town, a lot of good things in this town. And if we don't let them know what we have, they're not going to come.
We need to continue to work with our deaf folk people to let them sell our product, our city, so that we can be the first choice for these companies to come to our city. And these are the people that sell our product, so we need to work with them and our city administrators so that they can sell us and be the place they come to.
Mr. Peterson.
Yeah, I think this fellow sitting right here with the gray hair is a good example of what can be done. And I think Dan and his group is doing an awful lot to get people to come to North Platte and start a business, or if they have a business, move that business here. We have good recreation. We have good schools. Dave and his Rail Fest, they bring a lot of good people to North Platte. We have the power, we have the water, we have the land, and they all need that. And probably last but not least, we have people with good work ethics, and that's what the people that are hiring are looking for. Thank you.
Mr. Baker.
One thing we need to do, business locations, everything, let's show them that. I mean, what other better location do you got in Nebraska for new business? We got I-80 right here, we got Highway 83, connects north-south, we got the biggest classification yard out here on rail. They build something, we can move it coast to coast, north to south. And we need to show the new businesses, the new companies that we can bring that in and we can do that for them. We, like you said, we have the land, we have the water, the sewage, the new technology coming in for them. We just got to show them, hey, you build it, we can move it.
Okay, Mr. Fallon.
Lots been said already. I don't know how much more you can add to that. I think one thing I just want to highlight, I guess, is the fact that at the end of the summer, we do have, I think it's like 40 different softball teams coming to this town for nationals, and that's a lot of the, the chamber being out there, the development group. And so we do have a good entity out there already working, getting our name out there, getting our community out there, and attracting teams from the outside. We've also been out there trying to get state golf and stuff like that here at Iron Eagle and at some of our other courses in the area. So we do have a lot of momentum going in that way. And me being a business owner, what brought our family to this town was the railroad. And I think Brooke said a lot of good things about just having the interstate here, having the railroad here. We do have a lot of ways to move stuff. And then I think everything's there. We just need to find those businesses who want to grow and choose this community to do so.
Well, I think a lot of the groundwork's already been laid down. We just now are getting all the fiber optic. They're pulling it, right down my alley right now. We have fiber optics everywhere. Technology, they need that high-speed data. They need that bandwidth right there. The other one, we got the Quality Growth Fund, I believe it's called. Help small businesses with either grants or loans, help them get, get their feet, get them started. I think that was a great project. On that, everyone else pretty much said it all.
I think what we'll do is we'll have one more question, and then we'll do the closing statements after that. So we'll end with taxes could be cut, and so we'll start with Mr. Heath.
You can start in the other end. We all have the same question.
We do, but we'll split them up into commissioners and mayors.
Yeah, but commissioners always go first. I hate that. Okay, could we put the question again?
The taxes. Do you see ways to cut taxes?
Yes, I think I mentioned about 4 of them earlier. Combining city-county governments, combining functions within counties themselves. For the last 2 or 3 years, we've got interlocal agreements with 4 other counties that we're doing. I think that we all need to find efficiencies in our jobs, in our county government, city government. I don't think it really matters what level it is. We need to continue to try to find more efficiencies. And I think probably the best way is just, not duplicating services. Make sure that we still get those services that are mandated by the state, not additional services necessarily. Have a quality road system, take care of our law enforcement and public safety, and continue to work hard what we're doing. Thank you.
Mr. Peters.
Yes, you can even see an advantage of that with the video monitoring of your prisoners and stuff. Now that's going to save money. And as time goes on in this technological world, and I'm an old gray-haired guy, so technology is difficult to learn. But the county courthouse has done a wonderful job getting everything available on the computer. And so we're going to see taxes reduced there because as each department becomes more and more effective, more familiar with what's going on, you are going to have less people involved because everybody is going to eventually be on this, whether we want it or not, screaming or hollering. And there's other areas, again, that could be looked at. Like I said before, look hard. We have elected officials, so we can work together. But cuts can be made. They don't have to be drastic. This economy will turn around, but we need to prepare right now for how bad it's going to be. Thank you.
All right, we'll start with Mr. Livingston with the mayoral candidates.
It's a little hard to argue with what Joe just had to say because I absolutely agree.
You guys have
with him.
handled it great, though, I'll give you.
Interlocal agreements is where it's at. I worked on those a number of years ago, actually, with Joe and our city administrator, who used to work with the county way back when we put the 911 center together, or not the 911 center, but the E911, enhanced E911. The county did not have 911 at the time. They were still using call boxes and volunteers. And when we put all those minds together, it was the city, the county, the telephone companies that all worked together to make that happen. There's no reason why we cannot continue to do that today. There's got to be some issues out there that we can combine within departments, within the city and county. It's just there, and I know we can do it. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Stoll.
I'm glad Joe's brought up the subject of countywide law enforcement. I've been thinking about that for a long time. Some facts about that. The city spends approximately $4.5 million on law enforcement. Not counting county attorney and the jail, the county spends about 2.5. That's a total of about $7 million. The city residents, we not only pay for all of our law enforcement, but we pay for approximately half the counties too. So of that $7 million that's being spent on law enforcement, the citizens of this city are paying about $6 million of that, or about 80% of it. And I think that's an injustice. By combining and having a countywide law enforcement, we could do two things. I think we could trim probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 million off the cost of law enforcement in Lincoln County. And that injustice, the balance of how it's paid for, could be corrected.
And Mr. Patrick.
Well, ultimately, when it comes to taxes, it's about spending and it's about revenue. And on the spending side, that's where you can really clamp down. We've kept spending increases below the rate of inflation significantly here in the city of North Platte. We've had a hiring freeze in place for a number of years. We've got nearly 20 fewer full-time employees at this point. We're continuing to see benefits from that. We've had the chance to operate and use some public-private partnerships that have allowed us to save money on a number of different projects throughout our community. Interlocal agreements are another aspect to look at on some different things. One of the big ones we've got coming up here is we soon, here in 2014, have debt service at the city of North Platte that begins falling off. And that creates an opportunity to use that money both for property tax relief or for other types of tax relief as well. On the other side, we need to make sure that we're continuing to grow our community and make sure we're continuing to take advantage of when we see increases in valuations and increases in sales tax, that we're taking an opportunity to use some of that increase to reduce on the tax side as well.
We'll start here. Do you see ways to cut taxes? And if you do, what are those ways that you see to cut taxes?
Well, sure, there's always ways to cut taxes, like, not pick up trash. You could not fix potholes and stuff like that. You just have to ask the citizens of North Platte, which they would rather not do.
Okay. Is that your answer?
No, seriously, there's always ways to cut expenses.
Can't hear you.
There's always ways to cut expenses. You have to just figure out which ways that there are. You have to decide what the citizens of North Platte want to give up in order to do that. I don't exactly know how to answer that at the moment. All right, thanks.
Mr. Peterson.
I think Joe and Dwight both had an excellent idea on this interlocal agreement. If you think of what you go out and pay for a TV set today, and this would not even come close to comparing to some of the electronics that the police department and the sheriff's department have, and they each have their own. That's kind of ridiculous. Why can't they both have one TV set, let's say, and both use that same set? I think it would be a wonderful idea if it can get done. The other thing, I would like to go through at least one city budget planning session and line item and see then where you can or where you can't cut taxes. I don't know that you can, but I don't know that you can't either. So I would rather go through a budget session first and then give an opinion. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Baker.
Well, kind of like I said in the beginning, kind of goes hand in hand with this. I mean, let's stop building new things, stop getting new debt, new loans. Let's just let some of these grants go to other communities that need them. Because if we keep taking the grants and we're just going to get more debt, you got to raise more taxes, you got to pay it somehow. So if we just stop building new things, stop getting ourselves new debt, then over time, when stuff gets paid off, our taxes are going to go down. People are going to see it long term. I mean, you always ask, that's every debate, every mayoral race, every city council race, how are you going to cut taxes? Well, as one person, you can't do it by yourself. There's 8 on city council and a mayor. So you got to convince 5 other people on your plan on how to do it. It's not always the easiest thing, but as long as you can work it out, you guys hash it out, it'll happen. But I mean, that's the main thing I see happening is stop increasing the debt.
Going back to what Barb said, I don't remember what country it was, but going to foreign countries, you kind of see countries that don't have taxes or as much, and how bad their roads are, and how, I mean, the hospitals are down, the cops don't really do anything because they don't have the tax money. And question at me at that age, a young 20-something, do you think taxes are a good thing or a bad thing? Well, taxes are good because we have the police officers, and I see some here and some former ones, and then the roads. I mean, you mentioned potholes. I have a big truck, and it doesn't like potholes. Is there a way to cut taxes? I have to agree with Peterson. Without sitting through a budget, I don't know. On my church, I do actually sit on our budget committee, and we go through everything. And so, and plus with the business, Dad and I go through everything, and we see what we can cut, what we can't cut, and what we can improve on, what we can't improve on. Because there are things we do definitely have to keep. So.
All right, Mr. Walden.
Cutting tax, that's a real sticky thing. You cut taxes here, you lose this here. What do we really want to lose? I don't like paying taxes, but I don't mind paying for things that are important, like the schools. We want our kids not getting a good education. That, it's things like that. Potholes or, whatever, We need to spend taxes, effectively, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Burkham.
That's for that. Basically, as the mayor stated in 2014, some of the debt's going to be paid down. It's going to start being less money we need to spend. Let's take that money and pay off what we owe, not get anything else new. We're going to have to do it. We just need to sit down and work it out and see where we can cut or what we have to do to bring the taxes down where the citizens of North Platte can afford them.
And we'll close by having everyone kind of talk about their closing statement. And I think Mr. Hughley is right, so we'll start with Mr. Peterson down here. Just a closing statement here.
No, I don't have a closing statement, Barbara. However, I did serve one term on the city council, and I would enjoy very much going back on the city council again. I'm sure there are some improvements. I can't do it alone, but I'd like to be part of improving the city of North Platte. We have lived here for 40-some years. There's no place I'd rather live than North Platte. Thank you.
All right.
I've lived here since 1979, raised 2 children. I have 9 grandchildren. I love living here. There's no place I'd rather live. I love serving on the city council. I will be retiring soon, so please vote for me and tell all your friends to vote for me. Thank you.
I'd like the opportunity to serve the citizens of North Platte. As Barb said, she's retired soon, and I got 168 working days, and I'm retired. So I will have time to put forth and do all I can for the citizens of North Platte. Been here since 1984. We raised our family here. youngest daughter, she moved away, went to school, she never come back. We need an opportunity to bring the young people back, to get the workforce back, so when these people want some employees, young employees to work for them, we have them. We just need to get them to come and stay.
Well, if elected, I believe that, you know, my bosses are the voters. So if you don't agree with what I'm doing, fire me at the next election. But I think I do a really well, you know, I do a good job. I'm very thrifty in my own personal life, so therefore I, you know, spend your tax dollars very, very thriftily. You know, like I said before, any decision, I want a lot of facts, I want data, I want to study it, and then, if we're still not in agreement, table it for now and come back. You know, all I want is a lot of facts, and I'll try to do it to the best of my ability.
You know, this running for city council has been, you know, it's a new experience. With me at my restaurant, it's amazing to see all the people come up to me. Hey, good luck. Glad you're running. You know, if there's anything you can do, that lets me know this is a community that cares. And seeing a lot of people out here well exceeded my expectations, and so it makes it a little more nervous to speak, but it's also exciting. Like I said earlier, I've sat on my church board for 5-6 years now. I'm actually also on the Teammates Mentoring Program board. I've been on that for the past 2 years, and I have had like 4 kids of my own, and so it's just, I like having a hand in what I'm doing. And if I want to raise a family here, like my wife and I do, I want to make sure that North Platte's moving in a direction that family friendly, and again, that's continued growing and prosperous. So May 15th, vote for Josh. This one, not that
one. I just want to take a moment to thank everybody for showing up. Thank Original Town and the Chamber for putting this on, giving everybody a chance to kind of meet us all, get a chance to hear us all speak. My main thing is, I mean, I'd like to be on, bring some new ideas, some fresh ideas. You know, like I said before, yeah, I'm younger than everybody up here. So, but I mean, I have real world experience in a leadership role, and would like to bring that to serve you. And I really appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I really appreciate your votes. So, thanks.
People frequently ask me why I want to be involved in politics, and my answer to them is always, it's not politics, it's public service. So I don't believe politics have a place in local government. So if I'm elected, rest assured that all my decisions will be based on what is best for our city.
First of all, I really appreciate the opportunity to share my vision for what our city can accomplish. I have a proven record of strong leadership, and I am not afraid of hard work and making tough decisions. I'm willing to listen, I will be honest, and I believe in treating everyone with respect. In the end, I will make the right decisions for the city of North Platte. My skills, experience, and professional and personal commitment make me the optimal person to lead this city. I firmly believe that a man of the people is not one because he proclaims to be, but by the things he does and aspires to do for the people with the people. I look forward to being able to show the citizens of North Platte that I am the man of the people. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and I would appreciate your vote come May 15th.
Well, I want to thank all of you guys for showing up as well. I think it's a great testament to be involved in the community. I want to certainly thank the Chamber, Original Town, our media partners, as well as the Neville Center here for letting this event take place. I believe our community is moving in the right direction, and I don't believe there's any limit to what we can accomplish as a community. And I want us to continue with a government that cares about its citizens and puts their interests first. I want to remain diligent in controlling spending and reducing debt levels. I want to see our community continue to grow and create jobs for the next generation. And I want to create the opportunities for North Platte for continuing to make it a destination for business and tourism. Our quality of life is unrivaled, and I'm proud to call North Platte home. I'm committed to doing what's best for North Platte, and I'll bring the vision, the experience, and the leadership to keep our community moving in a positive direction. I enjoy serving as your mayor, and I'd appreciate your vote.
Thank you. I forgot to mention, I've been a full-time resident in North Platte since '91. My background is in construction. It started in '87, so I've kind of been all over the place. The biggest thing in the community, working together, we need strong leadership. I'm very abrasive to some people because I will say what's on my mind. That's not necessarily good. If I'm right, I'm going to stick to it. If I'm wrong, talk to me. I'll change my mind. We need more strong, diligent leadership, and we need to eliminate having so much fragmentation. Let's get it down to a few people making decisions and move forward, because North Platte and Lincoln County is a wonderful area. We have tremendous history here. And thank you very much for coming. It's very important. And the most important thing is vote. I don't care who you vote for, but it's very, very important to cast your vote. It's a wonderful freedom that we have in this nation. Thank you.
Well, in closing, I'd just like to thank each and every one of you that took time out of your busy schedule to attend this forum this evening. And for those who might be watching on public access, I think Channel 8, is that correct?
13.
Significant improvements in Lincoln County over the past years. We've greatly improved our road system. We've replaced over 100 deficient bridges. With the vote of the people, we're now in our new Sheriff's Center, Sheriff's Office and Detention Center. I think we need to continue to work with the legislature to relieve our property tax burden. We need to continue to work with local industry and try to recruit new industry to this area. It's going to be trying times the next couple of years for those of us in local government, and I think with your help we can do that. God has truly blessed the Hughley family, and He bless each and every one of yours as well. Thank you.
And I would also like to thank everyone for attending. Remember to get out and vote May 15th. And thank you all for joining us. Have a great evening.